my name is Master Chris Yonker, and today I want to introduce you to the first few basic movements in Sanchin Ryu Karate. Before I say anything else, here's a disclaimer. When studying any type of martial art, we have to understand that even though we're trying to defend ourselves, that quite frankly, we can get hurt just as much, if not more, when doing so and studying a martial art. That all being said, though this is an introduction, if you choose to consider any level of study, please be sure that you work with a certified Sanchin Ryu instructor, one-on-one or in a group setting. That's the most important things I can tell you today. So this stuff's dangerous. So let's move on. Today I'm going to introduce you to two basics: basic Ichi and basic Nai. Basic Ichi is a punch, basic Nai is a kick. And before I go any further, I would be really misleading you if I didn't show you this stance that we're going to work from. The challenge is that when we learn a technique like a punch, we get so focused on throwing that punch that quite frankly we forget about our stance. And the stance is the most important piece. Our stance, our connection to the ground, it's how we pull energy, it's how we generate power, and really just throw and execute movement appropriately. Stance is number one. I could say this over and over and over again, but at the end of the day, you're going to focus on the technique. I get it, but please make sure when working with your instructor, you go back to stance, because you will be, there's a direct correlation to stance and technique and efficiency, power, safety. I can make a huge list, okay? So I'm going to just introduce you to two stances. The first stance I'm going to introduce you to is called Sanchin stance or basic stance. And in order to do that, what you want to do is get your feet out just wider than shoulder width. Toes are in, knees are bent slightly, hips are forward, good tight fists, thumbs on top. I'll talk about that in a second. So feet out just slightly over shoulder width. Knees are bent, hips are forward, back is straight. Good tight fist, hands by your sides. This is a basic position. I know it might look a little awkward, but we're going to really learn how to generate a lot of power from the specific position. Now, fist-wise, I talked about making a good fist. So in order to do that, I'm going to roll my fingers. I'm going to start with my pinky. I'm going to roll each finger in unison. Thumb goes on top, right in the meat there of that index finger. And wrist is going to be straight, okay? So I should be able to get any air inside my fist. They should be solid. Wrist is going to be straight. Very important, okay? If your fingers are not solid in there, if your wrist isn't straight, these are things that we can really get hurt pretty bad, okay? So very, very important. You can practice the idea of just rolling a fist, starting with that pinky, getting them really solid. That could just be an exercise in itself. Feet out, shoulder width. Toes in, knees forward, good tight fists, hands by your side. You're going to pull those hands back by your hips until you feel that upper back, that latissimus dorsi, kind of get tightened, that band tighten. And that'll just be a good feedback mechanism for you, okay? So what we're going to do next is we're just going to step. Star step is basically how we move. We move forward, we move back. We move forward, we move back. We pick up our leg, bring it up about parallel to the ground. Put it down slightly in front of the other foot. That's called a star step position. So in essence, what I'm going to learn to do is I'm going to step, and then I'm going to punch, okay? It's how I know it might seem, gee, why didn't you pick your leg up so high? Well, later on, we can show you a video on star steps, but in essence, it's an offensive and a defensive movement. It's something you want to train in your muscle memory, and it's very important. And muscle memory, repetition is key, right? Repetition is key, but good repetition. Repetition of proper movement is key. So, feet out, shoulder width, good. Good tight fist, thumbs on top, elbows by your side. Okay, so this is where our starting point is going to be. We're going to star step forward, and plant. Now, when I star step, I want to make sure that I can look down. I want my heel over in direct line to my other foot. Okay, so my toes. So heel are lined up with toes. This is called a heel-toe position. We call it Sei-san stance, right? So basic stance, Sanchin stance. I step forward. I'm in a heel-toe position, Sanchin stance, At this point, my feet might start going in more of a parallel fashion. That's fine. That's fine, okay? So we've covered basic stance, we've covered star step. Now let's go over into basic Ichi and basic Nai, because both of these elements are going to be practiced with these two techniques. In fact, all 10 of the basics we practiced with the star step and basic stance or seisan stance. So basic Ichi is a punch. It's a straight punch. All the movements in Sanchin Ryu karate have a snapback, and the snapback is at least twice as fast as the actual technique in itself, meaning that I'm going to strike out, I make contact, and then I snap back 2 times as fast as the punch in itself. Same with the kick. Now, what I want you to focus on is a few things. One is, where's your starting point from the basic? Well, I told you that. In the stance, this is where it's going to start. Okay? It's going to start, your hand's going to start in this position. You're going to step. From that position, you're going to punch straight out to the height of your own solar plexus, which is right here. So you find your sternum, drop your fingers down just below the sternum where the xiphoid process is, right in that realm, right there. That is exactly where this technique is targeted. So as you come from the hip, come out to that, and we say, okay, then what's the weapon? The weapon is the top 2 knuckles, right? So if I show you these top 2 knuckles here, right, which in essence will line up with a radius and the ulna on the arm. If I just give that fist a minor tilt, I can line that up, and then that elbow needs to be straight behind that. So that I punch straight out, it looks like this, and then comes back, thumb pointing to the chin. That's the snapback. So I come from here, come out, snap back. Last piece criteria is distance. When starting our punches, we want to work really close. So this is a great distance for me on Ichi punch. And so what you want to think about is, if I bring my hand here, okay, bring my hand here, I can slide my other hand over, drop that elbow back, that's as close as I want to be. All of our techniques are in tight and in close. If someone's at range, though I could kick him from here, why? I can run away. This is self-defense. This is not a competitive martial art. We're not looking to get points. We're just looking to stay out of trouble. Okay? So this is where the elbow drops back. Good tight fist thumbs on top. Elbow drops back. Okay, here we are. Right? Come in from this position. Good. Hips are forward. So I'm going to star step. Right? Nice and slow. I punch out, make contact with those top 2 knuckles, snap it back, thumb points to the chin. That's basic Ichi. Now, I know you want to do this faster. I get it. But if you can't practice it slow and properly, you're going to practice it fast, learn muscle memory, that's going to suck, and your technique's not going to be any good. So please be mindful of really getting it down. Spend 75, 80% plus of your time slow motion, stepping, just refining the technique and getting it where you want to. You make contact, you punch out, snap it back twice as fast. Do not keep the fist there. So in essence, it looks like this. That's the punch. Okay, and you say, well, gee, I didn't knock him over. I don't want to. The energy of the punch is designed to go internally, and the damage is done inside. I'm not looking to move him away. If I were, I'd use a different technique. Okay, so that's basic Ichi. Now I'm going to go through basic number 9, or basic 2, basic 9. So basic 2 is a straight snapping kick. Like basic Ichi's straight out this way, basic 9 is the same. It's not a type of kick where I'm coming up. I'm actually, though it might look like it, I'm coming out. I'm coming out. The weapon of the kick is with the ball of the foot, and it's really very specifically right here where these 2 fingers are. Okay? I don't know what that bone's called, but that's my contact point. Where these 2 fingers are, in specific, that's where I really want to go with this particular kick. And there's 4 parts to the kick. So I start in basic stance again, or seisan. Okay? Make sure everything's lined up. I step forward. My hands come up. When we kick, put the hands up. Help us with our balance. Also helps us to cover. Right? We're going to pick that hand. If I'm going to kick someone, they're going to come forward. Potentially, I don't want them to hit me. Right? So I want my hands up, and when I want them up, I want one high, one low. Thumb going to the chin, other hand down. Okay? So it looks like that. Now, I'm going to step forward, hands up. Part 1. 1, pick up the leg. 2, kick out. 3, snap it back. 4, put it down. Let's try the other side. Hands are up. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's, in essence, the movement. Please practice it so that your kick comes to the height of your belt, if you're wearing a belt or an obi, to your solar plexus, your pelvis, okay? So for me, on Bob, it's right here. This is where my target is, okay? So very specifically. Now I need to bring that knee up as high as I want that kick to go. So that knee comes up, that kick comes out. The knee, see how the kick goes forward, comes forward. It doesn't come up. That's a different type of kick. Okay, so let's practice that idea. You step. Let's practice it again. Slow. Slow, 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 slow. Kick. Snap it. Put it down. Okay, we want to practice slow. I know it's like, well, I'm getting wobbly. Great. Bring that leg up. Practice it. Practice that idea of star step. See how well you can hold this kind of position. Can you kick out and snap it back and hold it? Kick out and snap it back and hold it. Also, my support leg is slightly bent. My support leg is slightly bent. So we want to practice movement like that with having balance, owning the balance, owning our center. That's basic number 9. Our basic number 2. So basic Ichi, basic 9. 2 fundamental movements from Sanchin Ryu karate. Practice them, and if you want to go further, please get together with a certified instructor of Sanchin Ryu karate. I'm Master Yonker. Thanks for watching.